All right, so I want to talk about this real quick. So there was some DMT visions where there was one where I told her, I said, I said, I want you to see, because I told you I was real paranoid at the time. So I sent her a message where I go, I want you to be really scared right now. And when I got back to my phone, I started entering this email, this message, and I was like, this is stupid. I'm not going to tell you this. And then I walked away, and as I was walking away, I seen like this image of her, and she gets up behind me. She was like, she was like 6'5". I swear it was a vivid hallucination. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I was scared," and like was walking me out of the room, like was marching me out. Like as I was walking out of the house, out of the room, then she was doing that. "Oh yeah, I was scared," and so she stayed inside the house as I was walking away. I saw this, and so a couple nights later, I was sitting there and I seen this image of. It was basically like she was getting pulled in. She was pulling away from me, and I was going like this, and I would pull away from her, and she'd go like this, and we go like this, and I was going okay, okay, and then finally I go, all right, look, what is going on? And then as I did that, then she became this monster from Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters that had the horns and everything, and she literally and she turned into this right on the wall, and I saw this vivid hallucination. I've never seen anything so vivid before in my life that wasn't there in my entire life. Okay, and it was, and she goes, I want you to fear something, and I was going, whoa, man! It was so chilling, and then there was all of a sudden I saw the spirit of Scrim come in, which is like a little ball of light, and Margaret Robbie and my mom, they were like crawling all over, and I go, all right, stop. Just let me see what this thing is. I want to know what I just saw. And then Scrim goes like this. Scrim was a little ball of light, and she was a little ball of light. And he goes, look. He goes like this. Look. Uh, 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 he goes, when she pulls away, I go away. And then he stopped and he goes, see? Look. Uh, uh, uh. And I was like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't get it. And so there was another thing that came to me one night. It was my grandfather. He goes, all right, Tanner, now I want to tell you, he goes, now when the little girlfriend gets here, I want you to take her and I want you to go way on down to Mexico. And I go, I was going, and I called up my aunt and told her this. So I sent out a tweet and I go, if you love me, just stay away from me. I didn't know what was exactly going to happen. And then that got deleted. But see, I told you everything else happened where, this person was possibly getting hit or something. And who knows why she was feeling like this. But either way, there was this thing in my, so she comes over to the house and then I said something about, I don't, I said, I was like, listen, if you're gonna be over, I was like, I'll stay in this house for the next 2 or 3 hours. You can maybe go out there and get on a jet ski or do something else. And so apparently they cleared out the house. The woman in the house. His name is my dad's wife. She's somebody's daughter. Was a head central banker's daughter. Okay, and there was different stuff that happened. Like I got into an argument with her, and then Julian Assange got kicked out of the Ecuadorian embassy or something, or like, and then she tried to have me killed, and that had something to do with the last 10 seconds of life, and then they had to always have to bring that down. It was Tanner. Can you take that video off? Can you take that video off? We were talking about us trying to kill you, and so. And then she was saying, and she's like that. She was like, well, Jesus Christ, he tried to do the right thing. He tried to. And I go, yeah, I guess that's right. He did do that. She goes, but they killed him. And I was like, why would you even say? Anyways, so the fucked up thing with her is that she's up to something, and we all know it, you know what I mean, and we can all feel it, and she'll send out videos like she took video or picture of somebody at the family reunion and wrote a note on it and sent it to somebody, deleted it, and then deleted it, and then after she tried to have me killed, then somebody killed her dad, and I had a feeling that was coming, so or he supposedly quote unquote killed himself, but really he didn't. I don't think, because I knew somebody was going to make it look like a suicide. I didn't know who it was going to be, but I think I maybe did know who it was going to be. I knew it was going to be somebody I didn't know. So either way, so they and they had something to do with it. She's such a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? I mean, she did this. Her name's Juana Gregory. She lives in Ada, Oklahoma. She did this to me. Okay, she set me up for burglary. But she did, and she like they staged the scene. Olivia Wilde had something to do with it. They put with knives on the floor. They fucking fake pried a door open with a crowbar. I don't know exactly what happened. Okay. There's at least a possibility that she's gotten obsessed somehow with me, and she comes out. She came out to the house, and she was like different times, and it was almost about to cry, and then right before that I'd said something about I haven't felt the same about her, and she, as soon as I said that, she stuck her fucking head out the door and screamed out "Ditto, Tanner," and was upset about it. So it's possible that she got obsessed, and then, and then her mind started coming up with all these reasons why something wasn't going to be able to work, because she had fixated on me and let me become the only thing that was important to her in life. Like somehow in my mind, in her mind, I became the only thing that was going to make her happy, and then so she fixated on me until she came up with all these reasons why it wasn't going to happen, and then. Because see, a couple days before she got there, I had this. It was like somebody had taken a pinprick and touched the center of my palm, and it was said, "This is going to be your crucifixion." And I'm not trying to believe this, but I think it's better to believe this because that's just believing the worst in people, and I'm going to try not to do that. Okay. But they could just be a couple pieces of shit. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I don't think that. You know what I mean? I don't think that, because she probably wouldn't have come out there to on the offside chance that I would say, "Oh yeah, hey, I'll give you 3 hours to run around and do something stupid to me." But the fucked up thing was that she so and it was it was like something that tickled the center of my palm, and it was going, "This is going to be your crucifixion," and I saw an image of a woman raping me. It was unpleasant, and that was and so what the crucifixion is basically is that the aliens have baited our minds into believing that marriage, was somehow going to make us happy to each other. You know what I mean? And what that caused was for us to become infatuated with each other, and what that caused was problems. Okay? Now, not only were those problems for her, but those problems for me psychologically. When I got to jail, there was that voice came back to me again and goes, "Commit to her, Tanner," and that kind of surprised me too, because after all that, and so, but I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? I have not heard from her. You know what I mean? But I think that's being a little bit selfish to worry about myself at this point. But I mean, in reality, I think I need to look at this, because what am I actually doing? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense for me to sit around and wait for her. who is somebody who, I don't know, you know what I mean? I think that they just fucked us up, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I think it was just, because here's what I've come to believe. So the aliens put religion here, and it was in the Old Testament. It was, if you see a prostitute, stone her to death, or if you see a homosexuality, then stone that person to death. And what that was giving you a legal basis for your primitive urges, so then you would accept the legal system, because you were too primitive for a real legitimate society. And then but then once, then they brought in Jesus Christ, and he goes, okay, don't do that. And then so basically the situation was, well, the society has evolved to the point where, the only reason we got this far was because, you gave us this. So now you're saying we can't have it. And so now we're, basically, you know what I mean? It was basically like he had to die. So then the message was a beating, you know what I mean? Because that's all really we could get, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're too stupid of an animal to understand that really you need this stupid bullshit in order just for us to even give you a legal system. And oh, by the way, I also need to hurt this person right here because you're that dumb as well, you know what I mean? And so that's what I believe. And the situation is basically like, they put us through all this, so then you'll say, so then I'll sit there and think about all those bullshit reasons why these two can't get married, which I shouldn't even be thinking about them anymore. Probably should have been over it by now. Except for all the bullshit they put in my stupid fucking head, which it was actually a work in progress to get that in check. And it was working out pretty good for me. I need this shit. I need this in my life. That's okay. Because what they did was they did that. Well, it's not fun, you know what I mean? But it's also, it's also not fun to talk about it, you know what I mean? But then I had to think about it today, and I was watching some videos on YouTube, and like it was maybe a good thing for me to talk about it. But it's embarrassing, you know what I mean? But this is your religion too, and I think you need to hear about this. This is God. This is not God. This is aliens. You know what I mean? So what they wanted to do was, so the message is a beating, and the message is that, look at these two, what happened to them over marriage. Really, we gave you marriage. So Jesus Christ came and said, well, if you want to marry a woman, you need to go to the government and get a paper from the government. Man, I got acid indigestion so bad. You got to go to the government, give a paper to the government, and then the government says that you and this person are together. So what that means is that you basically, like, you need to own some woman, you know what I mean? Or a woman needs to own a man, you know what I mean? It's probably a bigger deal to a woman because even weaker set of emotions than men. But a big deal to both of them, And I read the Bible, and all this stuff about what happens to, this is what some bad's gonna happen to you if you mess with a man's wife, And it makes me wonder how much dysfunctional shit they built into us, you know what I mean, with the legal system and the whole legal basis of marriage to turn us, like that. But either way, the I don't understand it totally, you know what I mean? And I don't know how far back the whole legal basis of marriage goes. But the only thing I'm trying to say is just that with the legal basis of marriage is just a joke, you know what I mean? And so basically what they're trying to do is just basically leave this, like, the lasting impression of Christianity they want is that really, yes, everything else we had to say was good, except this one thing. Actually, we want to take that away. Because we gave you, and then we want to take away and leave you with what was good. You know what I mean? but we got to hurt this person. You know what I mean? And then there was, we wanted, because Christianity was, no federal, no central banks. They don't want central banks. You know, don't get all wound up on yourself and decide that, you know, you need to hurt somebody because you're in church, and you need to do something about prostitution because you're a Christian. That's not what Christianity is about. It doesn't mean that that's going to change society, but that's what they left you with. And I think that Christianity has had kind of it's affected the evolution of civilization. And you see old civilizations before Christianity, they were always, coming and going. And then after that, then there was a lot of deference of, the state to Christianity, and kings always, basically asking themselves, is it godly what we're doing, and always the imperative of, deferring to the religious authority of the Pope or whatever, and are we being godly, because now you have to listen to them. And I think that had an effect on the evolution of society to the point where we could even build a society that would even work and would even last over time. And somebody told me who knew quite a bit about aliens that white people were actually aliens. So that would kind of make sense to me as to why so much, crazy alien stuff is going on with, the religion, So there was a situation one night where, I was sitting there, and I sent out a tweet where I go, I feel like somebody's about to kill me, but I was just saying that because it was something out of The Art of War where it said, pretend to be weak so that people will get arrogant. And I'm going to have to get some of this acid right now. Pretend to be weak so they'll become arrogant. And then he goes, we get out in the car, and the headlights won't work. And I go, God damn it, I was pissed. Why aren't the headlights working? It just wouldn't work. I didn't know why. And all of a sudden I heard her voice go, oh yeah, we can make that go away. And boom, they kicked right back on. And it says in the Art of War, it says, they'll become arrogant and irritable. That's what she did. But she was upset because I was going on the road when there was a threat over my life. So I saw a white light and heard her voice. And so that night that she was in the house, she was in the house, and I don't think I told you this, she was inside a dark house watching me, okay? Which was a little unusual, but I don't know what she was doing there. But I sat down to do meditation. I was using this thing called a Muse app, and as soon as my brainwave hit the calm state, then I saw this white light, went up like this through the ceiling, and I saw a vision of my dad because I offered him a joint. He was taking a woman. He was like strangling her on a pillow, and then I was like, what the fuck was that? And I went outside. My eye caught something. I looked down, and I was like, what was that I caught? And I went up like that. When I squint my eyes to see what it was, then I seen these eyes dart out, all scared like this. It was her. I think I'd just been scaring the shit out of her. And then I went to my room, and then I was like, what the hell was that? So I opened up the door and I looked out, and then I seen her smiling inside the house, kind of like smiling at me. And I was like, I didn't even know what I was looking at. I didn't know if that was a real person or not, So I'd seen too much shit, and so my dad was talking about ghosts and stuff earlier, and so anyways, like I said, everything that happened after that was I basically told you already. But yeah, there was an image I had in my mind when I first started talking to her where it was her and she was going, Tanner, I can be too happy, and then she was laying down in her bed and I was going, I didn't know where that was going to end up becoming a threat to me, but either way, this just I feel like I've gone through pretty much all of it. I feel like I've forgotten something, but so then that night, so I sent her an email, a tweet where I said, this is what I caught you doing, and then I felt her spirit like pushing me up against the wall like this. She goes, "You want your country back? You want your country back?" And then she like took a bite out of my chest and like spit it on the ground. Poof! And she goes, "You want your country back?" And was like shaking like this, and it was like upset. I guess the whole thing was that, I'm an enemy at the end of the day. This signifies that we're enemies, even though it signifies that she cares, then, but it signifies that we're enemies. So, um, and so, yeah, that's basically it. I think that's basically all of it. All that I have to say about it. Just the trickiness of you know female and male interrelationships, and how easy it is to become upset. You know what I mean? And God, but it's still, there's just so many different things going on. I can't even keep up with it all.